Hey DOT community, this is Alon coming at you with a Sunday Season 4 of the Expanse live stream. And yes, it is time. I do have all my information on the season because, boy, I had to rewatch it a whole second time. Just to make sure I had notes on everything so I could talk about pretty much everything that happened. So, here we go. And of course, you all had plenty of warning that this was happening. So, of course, I hope that everyone knows that, yes, spoilers are going to be involved. So, yes, we will be talking about a lot of things that happened in the 4th season. Hopefully, we'll get some people joining on Discord as well to discuss some of the stuff. In the background, I will be grinding for Runa. We still have a few thousand more souls to get to 18,000, and I will use a few relics as well. So we do have that as it, because of course I've been grinding all day while I've been watching. So for my second grind through and making all these wonderful notes, and I'll tell you, I was like, well, if I have to, I'll use 1 or 2 relics, maybe 3 or 4 relics here at the end to finish up. So you're not doing this event, Daniel? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. George Robinson, how we doing? Good to see you. All right, so to start it all off, we're going to have a very inspirational speech from Drummer from the OPA, because I can get away with this. So.
Oye, Beltalada, listen up. This is your captain, and this is your ship. This is your moment. You may think that you're scared, but you're not. That isn't fear. That's your sharpness. That's your power. We are belters. Nothing in the void is foreign to us. The place we go is the place we belong. This is no different. No one has more right to this, none more prepared. In your life, go through the ring, call it their own. But a belter opened it. We are the belt. We are strong. We are sharp. And we don't feel fear. This moment belongs to us. Bartoloda!
All right, sweet. So anyway, to jump off with the wonderful Expanse Season 4 live stream. But of course, start talking about the first episode, and we'll start going through that as well. Of course, Extinction says, I haven't seen the show yet. Well, I've told you about it, so get on to Extinction. I'm not with the idea of having only one strong Titan. Well, that's a good idea, Daniel. You should definitely try to get as many Titans of all sorts of different capabilities. So I'm about that too as well. How we doing, Chris? What's up, Snot Chunks? Anyone knows what Castle Quest is? It's supposed to start tomorrow. Yes, George Robinson, it is supposed to start tomorrow, and it is supposed to be very similar to the Castle Quest that we saw for the Bone Dregs. So whatever the item is, it could be snowflakes for all I know for the winter event. We'll be collecting something, and whatever that is, it'll be collected through the Castle Quests. Through probably a daily altar will start as well. What's up, Arash? So you do have also to, I would assume that they're going to add the event, whatever we're collecting into the events as well in the milestones. So it'll be all very similar to the Bone Dregs situation. And they'll have a couple of Titans available to just acquire. And then they'll also have some altars for us to also use those same whatever the Bone Dreg type item is. So let's pull our DGs for the day and grab that. Got 16. So I pulled it like, I don't know, like an hour ago, like for the past couple days. So you got your Runa, nice, Born Scooby-Don. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I pulled the DGs here while I was on stream. But here we go. So back to the grind in the background. Oh man. Let's see. Is Yuluth good? She's the 4-star you got. Well, when it comes down to Ranger Titans, there are a few better than Yuluth just because of the ability to summon. But also Yuluth came a little bit, I want to say, after a bunch of the original Rangers. So it's like Yuluth is like a second tier Ranger, and a lot of the summoners are like the third tier Rangers that we've seen. So a little overshadowed, but at this point, you can still use Yuluth if that is one of your only few 4-stars that you have. So it's one of those situations where it depends on what you have already to if you're willing to actually put time and effort into Yuluth. Because some players will ask that question, and they'll have a whole bunch of Titans, and it's like, well, you have a whole bunch of Titans that are going to be better than the Titan that you're asking about, or maybe not. So let's grab all that. I have from 7 pulls, 5 1-star souls, and 2 2-star boosters. So I stuck middle of the way. Oh. She's your only 4-star, says George. All right. Well, in that case, if you don't have any good 3-star Rangers, then you may want to spend some time on Yuluth and level her up a little bit because she does buff 2 different troops. She buffs, if I remember correctly, I'll pull her up. I liked her when I got her, and I started leveling her up, but then a few other Rangers came along, and I decided to put her on the back burner for a while. But here, let me take a quick look. So I know Yuluth's better than my souls are. Fire Strike, maybe. Because Fire Strike's got some cool spell situations, but with the Goliaths and the Grenadiers, I mean, the Goliaths are great because you get those resistances, and if you get that health with them as well, it's really nice. So, and then of course, you're working with Grenadiers as well. If you're a castle level that's not really working with Maidens yet, then yes, Yuluth is definitely something you're going to want to work with. But as soon as you start working with Maidens, you're going to be more concerned about using Maidens as your ranged troop over Grenadiers on a regular basis. $1,400 battles and 0 level 2 Runa drops for this event. I got a Runa a little bit earlier today. Alright. So, there we go. I'm going to get to the grind in the background, and then I'm just going to start rattling off stuff that happened in episode 1 of the season 4, and just continue from there. So, let's see. I got everything set still. Okay, because I've been grinding. I just had to take a break. I wanted to come on a little bit earlier, but unfortunately I just didn't want to come on without eating a little bit first. Alright, so go to where I usually start, and that's NTG Knights, and work my way around some of the other alliances around that area. But for the most part, I'm just hitting really super low lands. Yeah, Born Scooby-Don, it's season 4 of the Expanse. So, just a little bit of a prelude, of course. The end of season 3, they finished. They actually unlocked more than one of the gates that they had access to get back to Earth. They unlocked 1,300 gates, so it allowed them to go into 1,300 new solar systems. So, of course, it is now a blood-soaked gold rush from between Mars, but the Earthers, and the Belt. And I'll tell you, as soon as that happened at the end of the third season, I thought, man, the show is still getting so awesome. I can't believe that they still have something that comes up, and it doesn't seem like it's just like, oh, here's a little cliffhanger to get you to go to the next season. It's just like, holy crap, that's just a whole bunch of new adventures that you can just completely have without having to worry about really making it seem like it's dragging the main story out, or they're just going on because they just need more story to make a show. So, yeah, that would be in the name of Born Scooby-Doo. To be in the name of the stream. It's also on the thumbnail of the stream. It was on the post that I posted 2 days ago, and I mentioned it in the last 2 videos, possibly 3 videos, about making sure to watch it before I do the stream today. So I think I gave enough notice around the community as much as I could. So, yeah. But yeah, so anyway, the epic start to the first episode was totally awesome when the Belter ships started running the blockade for the ring. And, of course, you're thinking, oh, man, these... First off, the graphics for the show are absolutely amazing. So, of course, these ships are just blasting through space with some Earth ships just trying to hold a small blockade around this ring gate. And it was just absolutely awesome because a couple of the ships took a couple hits, but then, of course, a few of them got through. And then, of course, we got our 8 month time jump immediately afterwards. So we knew that, that was preluding to something that was going to be eventually discussed later, because, of course, colonization of all these different possible systems is definitely on the agenda for everybody. So it's not on Netflix, Born Scooby-Doo. It's an Amazon original. So yeah, you have to have Amazon Prime to be able to watch it. It was on Sci-Fi for 3 years, and then it moved over to Amazon Prime. What's up, Tagger? Good to see you. All right, so which was also pretty crazy after the 8th month time jump in the very beginning, because of course our main character Holden is chilling with his mom. I was like, what a way to start off. I mean, of course, the show starts off with some awesome, crazy space action, and we see some, some intense, scenes, and then, of course, it just goes to our main character, James Holden, chilling with his mom by the fireplace, just talking about how everything has been so crazy. So, pretty nuts. And then, of course, we start... Most of the stuff that happens in the first episode, of course, is setting the scene for most of the first season. I mean, for the whole season. So we're seeing, of course, a couple of introductions of a few new characters, as well as they're touching on just a little bit of all the main storylines, just to be able to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Woefully underwhelmed. Sorry, Z. Oh, well, that's too bad, Ice. It's a really good show. Yeah, Fire Stick it is, Born Scooby-Doo. Oh, Ice. It was intense. It is intense. It's awesome. I love it. It's a great show. But anyway, so besides from that, of course, we do meet Nancy Gao, and that is going to be our wonderful Christian Avasarala's main opposition on Earth, with her opposing her for her position as the head. I think it's like head chancellor. I think that's the position, something like that, of Earth. So we do meet her, and she starts to like openly oppose Avasarala. So we know that that's how she stands in the whole scene of everything on Earth. And the whole topic of colonization and actually, like, letting people from Earth, which is overburdened, of course, with 30 billion people. And they decide that, a lot of people are like, half the planet's on what they call basic, which is like saying half the planet's on unemployment, more or less, and nobody's working. So with that in mind, and no actual solution in sight, colonizing all these new possible solar systems is actually probably a really good idea, and a lot of people are probably for that, where Avasarala is not looking to do that anytime soon. This new young Nancy Gao is becoming quite popular with that writing on her on the ticket. So pretty awesome. So Avasarala sends Holden and the crew to this new planet that they find out that those few Belter ships that broke through the blockade eight months earlier had settled on. They were calling it Illis, or as a lot of people on Earth were calling it, as New Terra. So pretty awesome. So Avasarala, of course, sends Holden and the crew out there because she wants to know if it's going to be another Eros, and that would be referring back to some previous seasons where there was a situation where a colony was all killed by a proto-molecule, which is a scientific abnormality that's considered to be some sort of alien technology. Hasn't exactly been shown exactly where it originated from. We just know that was sent in the direction of our galaxy and has shown up in it occasionally. So, with that colony, of course, on Eros, which was the main premise of some of the earlier seasons, is why a lot of people are concerned about what's going on this new colony. So it's looking pretty interesting. Oh, what's up, Val? I hope you watched everything that you should have, Val. Amos rules, says Obizad. Yes, Amos does rule. He is one of my more favorite characters. It's my kind of show, so I will watch from the beginning. Yes, of course. I kind of like the new Runa. It's because she buffs human troops. Yeah? I like to see better Titans come out that I think can buff human troops. Can you show me the new Defense 1.36 garrison? I mean, how many troops? Okay, sure. I can. There you go. Now, of course, I'm at castle level 24. But I see the station defenders are not one of every troop. It still seems to be 2 Grenadiers, 3 Imperials, 3 Panthers. So it hasn't changed for me yet, even though I do have the update. And how I do know I have the update, besides from the little number in the bottom left. But when also looking at troops or Titans, I have the melee and ranged right there on the. Just so you can see that real quick. But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't even look to see if exactly I had the change where I would have 1 of every defender or not, because I was told that castle level 24s and 25s would have that. Back to Knights. No, I didn't start leveling my Venom Tusk yet. Is Mamesh good? Popo Loco. Mamesh was a really your castle 8. Okay. I would say don't invest into any 4 stars at castle 8 because it'll take forever. So concern yourself with 3 stars until you get more towards like castle maybe 12 or 13, and then maybe you'll want to consider a 4 star to start leveling. But unfortunately to say, Mamesh is going to be a little underwhelming as soon as you get up to the higher castle levels, because Mamesh has fallen a bit out of the meta. So you can, if you really want to get into leveling up a Titan that is a bit outdated, but it's going to take a long time since you're lower castle level. So I wouldn't really recommend it. I read the blog about 1.36 notes. I didn't see any one of each troop to whine about. Yeah, they mentioned that. They mentioned about one of each troop, apparently, for castle levels 24 and 25. They were going to make that a thing. But all the rest of the castle levels weren't going to be affected by it. But I don't know. I think it was something because they were saying that it was unfair to have the other uh, 3 Imperials and 3 Panthers and 3, which doesn't make any sense because those really aren't, maybe Imperials, but Panthers and the other ones, the, what was it, Grenadiers? I don't think anybody's really putting those types of Titans on as defense anyway. But alright, so back to what I was talking about. You gotta find a little bit of an area to actually do some attacks in there for a little while. Let's see. Yeah, no. Feel free to join Discord if you'd like to, Val. If you would like to talk about some of the Expanse, it'd be great. But we'll see, obviously, if nobody wants to join Discord. I'm just going to keep on rattling off all the wonderful notes that I've taken on all the episodes. So, of course, I can go quite long on that, but I won't be streaming forever tonight, so I probably won't get to the end of my notes. I'll probably end up getting to a certain point and just say, all right, you just got to watch the rest of the season. But we'll see. I just got to find a few battles, though, first, just because I want to actually get some souls here. Like I said, I've been grinding all day and visiting a lot of these places. Sometimes it's only snagging a few battles here and there while everybody's closing them all up. You're able to come by and just see, oh, hey, look, there's a one. Randomly. Happy Sunday, Churro. Thank you for joining. Alright, so where was that? Yeah, about Avasarala sending Holden and the crew out to the New Terra because of the possible proto-molecule being there, and they don't want to have to deal with any kind of major problems with that. Plus, it's all about colonization again. So it's all like, we don't really think about colonization so much anymore in this day and age because, of course, pretty much all the places we can go to on this planet that we're on have already been either searched out or claimed. You want to look at it that way? So, when we think of colonization, it's definitely not something that comes up as, oh, hey, you know, what's our best way to split everything up evenly among all sorts of different groups? So, it does come up here in the Expanse, which is a really interesting idea of how you would go about, you know, colonizing whole new solar systems, or go about just even exploring them first to even see if they're even ready to be able to be colonized, or if there is other life forms even there. So a lot of the things that go on in the Expanse, the show, opens a lot of conversation starters, also a lot of interesting topics about exactly where our possible future as human beings could even go. Because of course, I know a lot of older people grew up with, you know, dealing with the space program being a real big deal and going up against Russia and trying to get up to the moon before them and this, that, and the other thing. And it was all exciting and everything else. And then the last, like, 20 years or so, you know, I want to say the last 5 or 10 years, though, have been kind of exciting again. Things have ramped up a little bit. But for the most part, there's a huge gap between the late 80s and, you know, the 2000s, like 2010, where it didn't seem like anybody really cared about space anymore. So, and then again, now that we actually have all these people that own big businesses and they're able to put money into programs to actually do stuff, to actually, you know, put people to work, looking into ways of actually getting us out into space. And now look what, what possibilities can be for the future. So a lot of the stuff that we've, seen in Star Wars in the 70s and 80s and Star Trek and stuff are all kind of, not all of it, but some of it is realistic now. Like, holy crap, which back then it really wasn't a big deal. So as we see stuff in The Expanse, I, of course, like to apply it in similar fashions where certain aspects of it could very much be the way things are in our near future. Because, of course, as much as everyone here may think that, in our lifetimes we may not see much more than what we already do here on Earth, not going to be going anywhere or doing anything, it's very possible that our children are going to have the opportunity to travel to space as just regular entertainment. It's not actually considered something really big and really crazy. So, just put that out there. So that's why shows like The Expanse, that's why I enjoy them so much. Makes you actually think about exactly what kind of crazy possibilities are actually out there. Oh, colonize underwater? Well, I think that goes a little bit... If we can colonize something that we don't actually have to worry about pressurizing everything, we could, Rapture 2019, Jesus Returns 2026. We'll see. All right, so here we go. Oh, wait, did I not plug it in? Oh, yeah, I'll plug it back in. So, Roberta Draper, which, of course, we all, if you know her from previous seasons, of course, was the Mars Marine. And she, of course, is still super hot. So she doesn't let it. She doesn't let it anything down from previous seasons. Still super hot, and totally awesome character. And she is milling around on Mars now that she was let go from the Mars military. And frankly, they have an influx of people coming back from the war. And Mars, actually, there's a lot of people without jobs, which is something that is another crazy idea, that a colony that has never had a problem with really putting people to work, unlike, Earth, is now running into a problem where they actually can't find jobs. So, just another interesting topic. Remember that one stream where you discussed a show no one watches? Oh, wait, that's right. Oh, Ice. Not true. Not true at all. I got 13 thumbs ups when I posted that my Sunday stream was going to be all about The Expanse. So, if you wanted me not to stream about The Expanse, you should have said so ahead of time. And I spent my whole day today rewatching the show a whole second time just to make notes, just so I can speak to it and sound intelligent. Because when I spoke to the Game of Thrones episodes that I did, which I thought was awesome as well, because I love Game of Thrones, and it was the last season, that I didn't know enough of the character names, and people that were watching it and that came onto the stream were like, gosh, Salon, this is brutal, So I wasn't going to come into another show where there's lots of characters and lots of things going on and not have an idea what I was talking about. Can't just say, oh, that one guy and the one thing and this thing, and because then you just sound like an idiot, babbling on about nothing. So, yeah, I am really well prepped, of course. I had to be. Because, like I said, I had to be prepared to completely stream by myself if nobody else was actually going to join on Discord. Now, I mentioned this in my previous stream, and I heard Brain was going to be here, and Val was going to be here, and everything else. So, Val's in the chat, but I don't know. Maybe she'll join Discord. We'll see. Otherwise, I will just keep going and doing what I'm doing right now. Let's see. Although I probably should, in a little bit here, pull some event relics just to give myself a little bit of a boost. My souls am I at right now? And you know what? I'll just do a few more battles and then I'll do that. Not for 2.36 million, though. Oh, yes. Runa 4-star gives 1.2. Yeah, I heard that as well, which is not bad. She should give a 1.5 boost because she's Runa, and the other Runa's doing that as well, so that's my opinion. Awesome, Al. Fatia, have a great day. Am I going to watch the Picard show? Well, probably not. Not a big Star Trek fan. So, there's way more Star Trek shows than anything else. Some of them are actually pretty bad, even according to Star Trek fans. So, I mean, it's okay. But I was always a Star Wars fan when I was growing up. So, let's see. We'll finish out what I had for the rest of this first episode, and then, of course, I think I'm not going to keep on. Maybe I'll do the second episode too, but I don't want to keep going, of course, if absolutely nobody in the chat or on Discord is going to talk about it. I'll just talk about the show in general after that. Let's see. Because going in order is going to... It's going to get monotonous. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, so Class Ashford, another one of my favorite characters, is basically being told, since he's an older guy and he's keeping to the ways of keeping peace between the Belters, Mars, and Earth, that he's not a true Belter. And, of course, he takes that to heart, and he is starting to realize that maybe that his new ways of thinking aren't exactly the best for the belt, which is, of course, what everybody is there for. In the ring system, where he's they're basically like the police force inside of the ring, making sure that people don't go places they shouldn't. Because everybody's right now, of course, when I said that it was a blood-soaked gold rush, of being able to go into these different portals that take you to different solar systems. It's pretty nuts. So they're trying to hold everything back, at least in the beginning. But Naomi Nagata, another one of our wonderful females in the show, one of the main characters of the cast that is basically with James Holden. She has been a Belter her entire life. So when you live in space your entire life, and then you try to go onto a planet, which again makes complete sense, you have to be given gravity drugs, stuff that makes you a lot like your bone density and all bits and parts of you to be able to be in a gravitational atmosphere, because you're used to being in space all the time. It's a very big difference. So, of course, she's given gravity drugs because they know they're going to be spending some time on a planet that is very similar to Earth. Star Trek ships destroy Star Wars ships any day. Oh, geez. It sounds like a crazy crazy dispute. Of course, I disagree. Let's see. Plus, that's the other thing too. The all the ships in the Expanse don't exactly use like lasers and like phasers or anything like that, plasma or anything. They actually use railguns, which again makes a bit more sense to our technology standpoint of where we would be at when we were doing all this. So yeah, they use railguns, which are just massive, massive machine guns, more or less. Which is pretty neat. That's why a lot of the space battles are really nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then there's another thing that comes up, just another kind of crazy idea, is when you're born in space, okay, and you're considered a belter. That's what they call them when you're born in space, and you live among the space stations, and you live on ships, and you never really spend time on any kind of planets, whether it's Mars or Earth. They talked about the belters colonizing. And then after 2 generations, like, they have kids and their kids have kids, those kids, those grandchildren basically of the people that originally colonized the planet, that were originally belters, those grandchildren will be considered inners, or someone who lives on a planet that only knows what it's like to live on a planet and no idea what it's like to live in space. So it's an interesting concept that the people that, the belters, of course, are in competition with the people that live on planets. But if they go and colonize a planet, their eventual, offspring families will be exactly what they are against. So it's an interesting concept. And how people, how some belters, people that live in space, see other people that are attempting to colonize when they just believe that they should just continue to stay in space. Interesting ideas. There is a major plane crash. Basically, one of the main things with the planet, the new Terra planet, is besides from the belters that went out there to try to colonize it, there's also one of the main reasons why the belt of the solar system that Earth is in has so many space stations and stuff like that all these belters live on or work on, is because all these major companies, which is similar to what we have right now. But yes, all these big companies are the ones that pay for security services and also scientists to be able to go and do certain things. And there's a company called, what is it in this show? Is RCE, again, fictitious, but it's a company that is hired to go and colonize a planet and be able to sell whatever it may have on it. Now, of course, the one that they're referring to in this beginning episode, New Terra, is filled with lithium. So that's one of the major reasons why the planet is so well sought after, because it's a breathable oxygen planet and also has many resources available. So this company, of course, after the belters have already put some people on the ground there, they also have the company RC has a shuttle that crashes there when they try to come down and claim some of the planet for themselves. They have a horrific shuttle crash, which reminded me of the plane crash on Lost. So it was pretty nuts. So belters do give them aid, though. And then very soon after that, the Rocinante, which is the ship of our main characters, lands on New Terra as well. And everybody meets each other. So, and that's pretty much the end of the first episode. And how, all the different groups and them coming together to check out this new planet and see how everything goes on when it comes down to if there was anything that ever lived there before, because of why it is actually breathable and has, life on it as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the first episode. Like I said, there is a lot more to it when it comes down to more characters and lots more storyline. I can talk about anything about the show if you want to. Of course, ask me any questions. What's up, Soldier? You can ask me in the chat. Otherwise, yeah. You can let me know also how your event's going as well. And if you're bothering to get Runa or not. Ice says, got my Staff of Iron to level 9 on Bass, and it's incredible. That's nice. No mention of Miller. Oh, yeah. So, sorry, Obizad. Not really in the first episode. There really isn't anything about Miller really in the first episode. I mean, what? As soon as he went through the ring, I think I might have skipped over that. But as soon as they went through the ring, Miller jumped off. Yeah, once through the ring, Detective Miller leaves Holden's consciousness. But yeah, that's pretty much it until the second episode. But when it comes down to that whole situation of explaining the Miller of why Holden has like a kind of like he's seen a ghost, he's seen someone that died on a planet called Eros that had the protomolecule on it as well, where horrible experiments were being done with the protomolecule to see exactly what it was and how it affected people. But yeah, episode 1 is pretty much all about setting the plot, showing the different groups of the Belters that are going to colonize the planet, the company that's going to try to, take it away from the Belters, and of course try to get all the wonderful resources off of it. And then of course Holden's group that goes there to try to fix everything, plus also the planet's got protomolecule on it anyway, so might as well send the people that have dealt with it before. But if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, of course, it is The Expanse Season 4, recently released on Amazon Prime. And Walla. And that's going to be, Walla is going to be the Brain's new name, because he said he was going to be here, and now the Brain has let me down. And Walla is a traitor to your own kind. That's what that means. And that's that's what Belters say. It's crazy because some of the different languages, it's not like they... Belters speak like kind of like a broken English a little bit, where it's a little bit mush mouth, where it's a little hard to understand sometimes. But all the episodes are interesting. I'm going to tell you that right now. A lot of them have a lot less that happens in each episode compared to like the first and the last, because a lot of story arcs, of course, get completed. But at the same time, a lot of jumping from the 3 or 4 different stories that are going on at the same time. Very similar to a Game of Thrones, taking you to different, what's going on at Earth, what's going on at Mars, what's going on in the belt or on this new planet. So kind of like 4 different theaters, if you want to look at it that way. What's up, Vita Loca? All right, so how many souls I got? All right, 15-6. And Vita Locus here. You know what that means. I'm actually gonna pull. This is my first pull. I did get 2 head start packs in the beginning, so yeah, I did get 4 3 stars and 4 2 stars. Oh, 1 star. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Vita Loca didn't give me too much good luck there. Pop it in like that. It's okay. Just give ourselves a little bit of a boost. You like the Iron Rune, Vita Loca? I wasn't exactly excited about the Iron Rune. Or are you talking about this new Runa for defense and attack? Because when you say new rune, it makes it sound like you're talking about the Iron Rune, which is, in my opinion, not all that great. You're talking about Runa then. You're talking, it's hard to beat her. People are desperate to grab as many battles as they can at the closeout of the event. No, I don't want that Venom Tusk. A Rash, I'm going to get to 18. So I'm definitely going to grab Runa right here on the stream. After the stream's over, though, it'll depend on how far I want to grind after the fact. But we're going to get Runa on the stream right now. I'm going to pull 2 to 4 tokens to get myself up a little bit. And then we'll just hard grind the rest of the way to 18, but we're not that far away. Depends if I get all 1 stars, though. But I had to grab this new Runa for my collection, and also because she is going to be good. So when I saw that she was going to be a summoner, I thought that was nuts to begin with, but I'm also, at the same time, I also wanted to, I was like, well, that's another great, I don't have many paladins besides Kronos that, of course, I am even working on either. Look at it that way. All my other categories, I have titans that I'm working on a regular basis. So, in the paladins area, yeah, there's Astaroth, and then there's Kronos. That's pretty much the only 2 options I had, really, for start working with. I'm done with the event. Now I'm going to go work on leveling my new useless Stone Scar. Oh, Lucas. Your new useless Stone Scar. I'm sure you're going to probably use your Stone Scar as maybe some fusion food or something like that. Because that's what I'm going to do with my Venom Tusk. Of course, out of all the lands. How many battles have I done so far? I'm trying to grind the rest of the way. Well, I can check my battles. It's probably nearing close to 1,000 for the week. And it'll be the most battles I've ever done. Fury really pulled an Osiris. Ferranic pulled an Osiris. Fury pulled something else. You'd have to check my video on that, Ice. Now, Fury pulled an Osiris maybe on his mini, maybe? But from what I saw, he didn't pull an Osiris when he posted it on Band, because I posted he was part of my showcase, was Fury. But Ferranic was part of my showcase, and he definitely pulled Osiris. Your first new Titan you're skipping, Soldier? I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't get... No spoilers, right? I haven't started Expanse yet. Oh, really? Oh, I've been talking about... I already talked about the whole first episode already. So, yeah, the spoilers have been just flying, Vintage. Flying. You pulled the Amazing Pigsy. Ice, I don't know if you were on the showcase. I showed somebody pulled Pigsy. I forget who it was. But Soldier, when it comes down to how much, I just think, and you really overspent, because I was still able to get a lot of the good Titans this in 2019, and I did not spend any $3,000. So I'm just saying, I know that. Because I didn't spend over $3,000 any year in Dawn of Titans. Now, I do know that I spent over $1,000 during maybe my first year. But I know my spending has gradually decreased over the years. Now, is it still hundreds of dollars every year? Yeah. Of course it's over hundreds of dollars every year. But it's no $3,000. Oh, in Vintage, everyone dies. Although, I have to say, out of everybody, I got my characters, like the sheet with all the characters' names on it right here. I mean, of course, all the characters from previous seasons are in, but and my favorites from season 3 that were, of course, Drummer and Ashford. But it was interesting. It was definitely interesting to meet a few new, like some of these colonization characters from this new planet, because, of course, it definitely expanded on all the regular characters that we already have, and it was good. It was good. So, speak for yourself, Zalon. Money signs. Okay, Ether. I mean, I'm just saying. I didn't spend no $3,000. That's why I like an event like this. What I put down, spent $28. I'm going to use a few saved up relics from previous events. And my gems are down right now, currently 3,000 gems into the event, but I'm going to get 4,000 back here, plus another 1,400 in the milestones right now. So right now, if I'd cash out, I'd be still in the positive on the gems. So in total, would have spent $28 for this entire event. Again, no $3,000 in 1 year. Just doesn't work out for me like that when you play events like this. Is there a more expensive game than DOT out there? Yes, Lucas. There is many games out there, Lucas, that are considered in the strategy category. That if you jump into them, you need to spend multiple hundreds on a regular basis to be considered competitive right off the bat. Those games are complete. They're extremely ridiculous. And yes, those games do exist out there. Like the Game of Thrones, what was it? Game of Thrones Conquest it was, or something like that? I don't know. There was a Game of Thrones game that was put out a few years back, and it's one of those ones where they have the big map and you just send troops. You don't see them fight, but then they come back and you attack things that are on the big map, and you can move your castle on the big map and put it next to everybody else's castle on the big map. Those types of games. They're huge money holes. And there's rarely anything more than just building huge armies, losing big armies, building huge armies, losing big armies. And it's just really grindy and very stupid after a while. And those games exist. There's many of the same. I have yet to find actually a cookie cutter version of Dawn of Titans, where they have a big map like this with everybody set up like this. If you have, please make sure you mention in the comments. Oh, there's Brain. Oh, I was saying earlier, Brain, that you're walla. Well, walla, Brain. A traitor to your kind, as the Belters would say, because you said you were going to be here. Because you said that you enjoy the Expanse, Brain. Very much so. There we go. I'm just looking for super easy battles to flash through real fast. Lady politician drives me crazy. Her mouth does crazy contortions when she talks. OCD overload. Really? Avasarala? Vintage? Mario Kart is expensive. Is it? I did not know that either. Iron Throne is utterly absurd expensive. I played it for about a week. Ooh. There you go. There's another Iron Throne. That had a lot of high-priced YouTubers that were added. No way. Dude, I was totally going to do a DOT stream yesterday. It was so close to hitting the stream button. Why would you do that, Brain? Any known leaks on the upcoming Tar event? Rumor floating around that any event relic works. That'd be interesting, Churro. It'd be nice if that was the case. But do they typically do any event relic works on a brand new Titan, though? Or don't they do that on events where we are either like a 2-day Titan event, where we've seen those in the past, or that's like a 2-day solo, or it's a solo event? You think the next Tar event could be solo? Friday's the big days of Star Wars. Yeah, that's right. The new Star Wars is coming out. Well, I should say the last of the Skywalker saga is coming out. So it's going to be pretty good. I'm not going to go see it first day. And I don't believe the Ice Tar is gonna be the Ice Guardian. I don't think so. The Ice Guardian will be a different Titan. That's the official Zalon prediction. So keep that out there. But yes. So if anybody in chat has anything that they would like to talk about when it comes down to the Expanse, go ahead and bring it up, because I'd like to discuss it as well, because this is the Expanse stream. Feel free to do so. And if you have watched the newest season, of course, you can, say what you want. People that are here that don't know that, yes, there will be spoilers, need to avert their eyes or close their ears. Oh, well, yeah. Any news in next week's event? Yeah, it's going to be the Ice Tar, Refrigerator. No, that's not going to be his name, but everybody thought it would be a good idea. But it's going to be an ice tar, basically. You're here. What'd you miss, D? Well, me talking about the Expanse a whole bunch. Nobody else here on Discord. The Brain just showed up. Ether showed up a little bit ago. So did Vintage as well. He popped in here for a little bit. So I'm just getting my final bit of my grind on. Hope we're out of our 1 star. Now, let's see. Vita Loca popped in, and I pulled a 1 star. Now D popped in. Let's see what happens. 3 star! What? Just because D popped in, I get a 3 star. I'll pull a 3rd token because if it's another 3 star, it's going to really help me finish up here. Alright, it's a 2 star. We're going to chill. But yeah, it looks like, oh man. Definitely a huge help. Alright, so we're going to do the 2 star and then the 3 star, and then after that, we'll probably grind the rest out. Because we're at 16-1 right now. So yeah. It won't take long. Oh, D says you're welcome. Lucas says top notch. Oh, I also started watching Carnival Row. I'm almost done with that as well. It's another Amazon exclusive. Need to shower quick, but I'll keep you company in Discord if you want. Yeah, that's fine. Whenever, you get back, I'll be on for a little while longer. Not too late, though. Because you got brain. Well, voila. So, anybody that was participating in this event, what was the best drop that you got? I got a bunch of 4-star economy relic drops that, of course, I used as foraging food, but I thought those were some of my best drops that I got during this event. A couple 4-star other relics as well here and there. Or if you pulled any DGs, let me know. I always like to know if anything like that goes down. Yeah, I know tomorrow I'm going to get a whole bunch of people that message or put comments on that say, I can't believe I missed the Expanse stream. I can't believe it. And I'll be like, I told you. You knew. They're going to be like, I didn't get notification. Blah, blah, blah. Although at least some people that said they were going to be here did show up eventually. Hashtag brain. Well, voila. I have many 4-star, but I had them mostly. Not sure what you were saying there, Arash. Popping tabs. Be right back over. Just gotta throw more wood in the fire. Alright, I'm back. I was eyeballing Carnival Row for when I was done with the Expanse. Yeah, it's good. It's good, Brain. It's good. It's worth it. Even though Orlando Bloom's in it, you'll get past it. You'll get past it. Joseph, beer? What's for dinner? Yeah. Yeah, I got a little, some of my favorite Sweetwater, brewing company. It's, Hop Hash, Easy IPA. It's really good. So... But progress on the Expanse is about as slow as snails on peanut butter, so it might be a bit before I get to it. Oh no, Brain. With the job that you have and the 5 monitor screens that are, or 5 screens that are in front of your face all the time, I can't imagine how you don't have one of them on just a constant show, like, all the time. And then of course, again, we have to stay as NTG as possible here. But there's another one of Brain's screens that has adult content on it, running 24/7. And then another screen that's got a game on it, I'm sure. And then maybe a screen that has stuff that has to deal with his job. I don't know if that's important. And then, so yeah. That's the way Brain works. Don't you all imagine the same thing? That's how Brain works? Because I've seen the 5 or 6 screens that he has in front of him. So that's how I figure that's how it is. Oh. Brain says, I might have a lot of old devices, but I'm not D. I don't use them all. Yeah, Carnival Row. You know, it's not a crazy spoiler. I mean, the first episode starts out with a bunch of fairies running through a forest with a bunch of what's it called? And it's not like they're like regular people, but yeah, they do have wings on their back. But they're just running through the forest because above them there's like this like netting, and there's like a whole bunch of dead fairies already up there. It's like, so if they try to fly up into like out of the forest, that they'll get caught in that and just get shot and killed anyway. But there's a whole bunch of humans just like running after them, soldiers, just shooting them in the head. It's like Saving Private Ryan in the beginning. I was kind of like, wow, it's a bit of a different show. Not something you want to show your kids. So yeah, I'd recommend it. D thinks you're funny, Brain. I have an iPad and an iPhone, and I'm in front of an S computer. Pretty standard setup. I just remember you having like 5 devices. Braining it up. Red Bull is your favorite drink to keep myself awake and grinding. 10 minutes, D. Oof. Could be rough. Might be done. No. Probably won't be. It's been a little bit rough going, trying to find some easy Pong lands to just run through real quick. What's up, Grisha George? What's going on? 10 standard minutes or a D10 minutes? That's a good question, Brain. One thing that I did like that I saw in the most recent season of The Expanse that I thought was extremely interesting, because you never really would have thought about it, but they showed this one of the characters sleeping in like a, it's like a cubby hold type bed, like a Navy rack more or less, but it's not like hanging off the wall, but it's like a cubby hole kind of in the wall where you would sleep for a bed. But it had like these 2 straps one that you put like around your knee, and then also strap around like your midsection, as if like, just in case you would, do any kind of serious maneuvers or anything while you're asleep, that you wouldn't fly out of your bunk. And I was like, that kind of makes sense, I don't know why we never really thought about that for the most part in a lot of sci-fi stuff. So I was like, seatbelts for beds. Only in space, Just for me? 10 D minutes just for me? But 10 D minutes could be a lot longer. You got the 4-star Runa? Nice, Grisha George. You put out a bunch of videos recently, too. You're kind of go-danning it up a little bit, I saw. Grisha George video, Grisha George video, Grisha George video. I was like, wow. Pretty nuts. What's up, BMT? Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's going to take forever to do that way. Let's do it here. Oh, yeah. Grab these. I saved these 100 portal stones for right now, so I can use them on getting the last 2 parts. I want to get the Staff of Iron and Runa, and then probably be ending the stream after that, but it's alright, I'll still grind up to 19k to get the Divine Gems, I'm pretty certain, tonight. What's up, Ice?
Z, what up, man?
What's going on?
I couldn't leave you hanging solo this long.
Yeah, it's okay. Dee said she's going to come in a little bit.
Oh, we get some fresh D updates from her Chicago adventure?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. She's out and about.
I'm getting an echo.
I don't know why.
I'm going to hop off and come back in.
Okay. Do you still get an echo?
Let's find out. Yeah, I still do.
Okay, wait, hold on. It might be me. Let me get out. Now I bet you won't get an echo.
All right, we got it?
Yep, there's no
We're
more.
good, man.
See, I told you. I knew if I got off and
Nailed
got
it.
back on, you wouldn't get an echo anymore. It was on my side.
Salon the expert. Okay, so what part of Expanse have you not covered yet?
What do you mean? What haven't I covered? I only did like the first episode of the 4th season because I wasn't gonna go through everything, solo. So
Okay, so let's do a little Expanse interview as a noob to Expanse. We'll go ahead and fight. Well, can I ask you some questions then?
sure.
Let's go through this. So what about Expanse excites you the most?
The fact that it's the most realistic sci-fi show to show a possible future for our civilization. That's why I like it.
So enlighten us. What parts of our future can you see colliding with reality in the show?
The idea of colonizing Mars, the idea of the how we go about having all the different, like, for instance, as much as right now everybody looks at this idea of we talk about a new world order, like where there's a whole bunch of different, political figures from all different countries that are pulling the strings on everything that goes on. There's like kind of a conspiracy idea that people think that is going on, and eventually there's going to be just a government for the whole world, and it's such a bad thing and everything else. But the very odd and strange situation when it comes down to that whole idea is most sci-fi shows, as soon as we get outside of Earth, and most sci-fi shows have other planets involved and everything else, there's only one government on Earth. And it's kind of interesting. And other shows have touched on this, where there's only one government that rules the entire globe, and everybody listens to that government. And that idea and concept, as much as people right now don't like it and think it's a really bad thing, as soon as, now obviously this is a TV show and considered fictitious because it's based on a book, but as soon as we travel out into space, and as soon as we find or colonize other planets, not saying we find aliens, but saying that we go out and colonize other planets or put some space stations up and have people living on space stations, which again is all very realistic, okay? Because eventually we have to find our way off this rock, because eventually, now we're talking way in the future, but eventually our sun is going to envelop Earth. It's just going to become a red giant. And if you remember studying your 7th grade science class, how the different phases of a star, which our sun is a star, and when it gets bigger, it's going to envelop certain planets, and Earth is going to be one of them. So it is something that eventually we do have to kind of do, but it's something that's, thousands of years down the road. But in the mean,
what are we? Are we 100,000 years? Is that what they said, or is it?
I don't know the exact timeline, because there's a if everybody remembers the different phases of a star. Do you remember that, Ice? There was like and like at the very end, it's like
look them up for our Expanse podcast right now. Here we go. Phases of a star.
Because that's
yes. Anyway, so that's what's facing the Expanse is that Earth is no longer habitable.
Well, no. It's just the simple idea that the main premise of the Expanse is people on Earth. There's 30 billion people on Earth. It's overpopulated. Half the Earth's population is completely on welfare. It's like they have no jobs. There's not enough jobs to give 15 billion people. So because of the Earth's population becoming so congested, of course, they, have colonized Mars, and they sent their best and brightest people to do so. And because they did that, they also made it so that some of the, they actually have the best technology over on Mars over top of Earth, because they sent all the super intelligent people to Mars. Whereas Earth has just like, a crap ton of people. Think of it like this. Earth becomes China and Mars becomes the US. Mars has smaller population. It only has like something like 4 or 5 billion people or something like that in comparison to Earth's 30 billion people. But the thing is, there is also the belt, the outer basically a whole bunch of companies that have lots of money. Guess what? We have that right now, called SpaceX and some other of the space companies out there.
Amazon, Amazon's titan of a company, and all these other elements are definitely going to lead towards that bleed over.
When it comes down to, because this is something very realistic, there are companies forming now that eventually, when we do get up into space and we do start to, believe it or not, everyone, mine resources in space, because guess what? We don't have them all here on this planet. So when it comes down to that realistic thing happening, companies are going to be the ones that put the money into the actual, building of the actual of all the machines to do so and everything else, and providing all the security and providing all the everything. So that's kind of what happens in the Expanse, where all the areas of exploration in the solar system, and all the different mining and everything else that goes on, and all sorts of work in space, is all taken care of by the belters, the ones that are eventually become the only ones that are born in space. They live in space. They have longer bodies. They can't survive in gravity. The crazy thing is, if they want to come
seriously? Yeah. Because they're fully acclimatized to a zero gravity environment.
Well, yeah, it's because they eventually become used to that. Yes. So
according to Science Hub, we are at the halfway mark for our sun's life. So we're at 4.5 billion years approximately, if you believe in that age of the sun. And supposedly the red giant happens at the 10 billion year mark. So probably not in our lifetimes, Alon, unfortunately.
Oh, well, yeah, of course not. I don't expect it to be. And BMT, I'm not going to sing right now just because you want me to talk about something else.
I think we should. I think we should sing, Zalon.
Oh, ridiculous! Ridiculous song. I know, but see, when I put it out that it's an Expanse stream and everything else, and I tell you this is what it's going to be, people are always going to say, "Well, I don't want it to be that. I want it to be something else," and come in and do their thing.
Here's what I love. I love that you have in different views and interests, and you bring it to your channel. It's fun.
Oh, of
so
course,
here we
of
go.
course,
Let's continue with this. So what role does AI play in the Expanse universe?
None whatsoever, which is, again, something that you'd say, a lot of people would think that is be completely crazy. BMT, if you want me to sing, you're going to have to jump onto this Discord and complain to management.
Come on, Jim. Come join the Expanse interview.
No, he is not going to talk Expanse. I'm sure he's not interested in the show, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But
keep going. So tell me, why do you think AI has not crept into the Expanse universe?
Because I don't think there was actually any kind of like major. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a major concern. They just never even brought it up. It hasn't even had anything to do with anything that's going on in the world. It's more all about the simple fact of how everything would go when it comes down to leaving Earth and having different political scenes, because you have Mars, which super smart people, extremely advanced military, more than even than Earth, and then of course you got the Belters, which of course are considered like.
So Mars has a more advanced military than the Earth system.
Yes.
In this show.
Yes, but the Earth has a larger army. That's why I said Mars is like the U.S., which is like fifth largest army, but super powerful in technology, which is what Mars is like.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, Earth is like China, where he has massive army, but the technology isn't as good as, say, maybe the U.S. So on the grand scale of things, when you're comparing things on a bigger scale.
So in the Expanse universe, which planet would you want to inhabit?
I would want to be a belter, which means I'd want to live out in the belt where things are kind of adventurous. I mean, that's the wild, wild west. Everything's being colonized. Everything else, I don't know. It's where everything's happening. Earth is filled with half the population is unemployed. You know what I mean? It sounds boring to me. People are just upset and pissed. That's all it is, all the time. So,
what about that doesn't excite you, Zalan? Right? What about the unrest of Earth doesn't make you interested? Oh wait, I hear some breathing. I hear some heavy breathing.
Heavy breathing, that's Jim. That's true. But yeah, so I mean, that's why the show is so interesting to me, is because, again, it's not saying this is our future, this is how everything's going to be. No, but it brings ideas to the table of what possibilities could be, because, again, on a regular basis, walking around this wonderful planet of ours every day, like tonight's Sunday, everybody's like, gotta get ready to go to work tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. In your regular, usual things, you don't normally expand your mind to ideas of, hey, how would you go about doing this? Or how would you go about doing that, And
really intrigued.
And the ever popular words of Dougie Fresh, blah, blah,
blah,
blah.
blah, blah. Right?
Jim. What's up, pal?
What's up, Ice? What's going on, bud?
Did you get your Runa 2.0?
Yes, I did.
There you go.
Have you upgraded her at all?
She's at level 53. I'll max her out
Oh
shortly.
my goodness.
But let me, I will say this. There is a person in our alliance who you know.
Oh,
Talks.
okay. I was going to guess. It starts with the T, ends with an X. There we go.
Yeah, talks. But most of the time, whoever gets 4-star Titans and maximum usually is real quick, is usually me or Talks.
I think Tox might be one of the premier maxers in the game, for sure.
Yes, he maxes quick. He got 24 greens in a row from Runa.
No way.
Now, this is with Bast, Osiris, Broomhilda, Zeus. Kronos beat him once, and then I had him switch out a relic.
So I've been using the Orb of Rancor on my Asset build, and it seemed to have stopped the various Kronos attacks. So FYI, anybody listening that has a set, throw your Orb of Rancor on there.
Yeah, but he switched one relic out, and the Kronos.
What did you switch out for the Kronos?
I forget what I had to put the 4-star elemental grasp on. He had something else on. I forget what he had on, but I had to put the elemental grasp on for more health and armor. And he has the 5-star on already, and I said, well, Fox, I said, the new update comes out, you're going to get 15% more health, and you're going to get more range resist, and you're going to get more troop damage.
So he's throwing the old school Paladin relic on, not
yes, he has the old school Paladin relic on. He don't have the new one, but that's going to be buffed in the new update.
And he's already getting greens.
He's already getting greens. 24 in a row he got.
Oh, I'm so tempted now, Jim. Uh-oh.
And I attribute it to his spearmen have, I believe, 513,000 health.
Wow. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, they have 513,000. He could, if he was awake, I'd have him jump on and he could tell you more
What league are you guys in? You guys in Masters right now?
Yeah, we're in Masters right now.
All right, next week I'll have to try it because I got this new Staff of Iron maxed out on Bast as a solo build, and I'd be really intrigued to try any Spearman. I can't take out some of the Osiris's because of the degree of damage he deals on Bast, but so far haven't met a Valorn or anything that can stop it, even with the 5-star. So I'd be really intrigued to try it on a Runa.
Well, that was going to be my last thing was you have to take us with a little bit of a grain of salt too. We are in Masters, and he's had the top teams, and they're all max players. But again, they're not legend. They're not. A lot of these attacks you got to take with a grain of salt because you don't know who's attacking you. It's not like a Drum or me or you or Pox that's attacking you. We don't know the skill level of the operator.
Gotcha. Is he running a melee resist build, or just what's some of the other relics he's throwing on there?
Well, I know he's all elemental resist. 2 or 3 relics.
Okay. Did he get that newest iron one, the iron charm?
Yeah, he completed the event like me. So we.
Oh, you did too. I skipped it, and now I am regretting it. But I think it'll come back around.
Wait, Jim, you completed the Iron Charms event? The Relic event?
Oh, no, I'm talking about this event, Runa. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, did he get the Iron Charm on his Runa?
Oh, no. I even asked him if he completed that, the Relic event, and I told him to switch that Relic with the Iron Charms, and he said he didn't have it. I said try the 4-star Elemental Grass, so that's why he put that on there.
Okay.
Well, so Jim,
an upgrade.
Jim, can you say now that Runa has changed your view on the game a little bit?
What do you? No, I mean.
Okay, wait. Because Ice, you have to realize on my past few streams, Jim has come onto my stream.
I know.
Jim has come on my stream, and Jim goes. Jim comes on the stream.
Discouraged.
Jim comes on the stream and goes, "I don't like this game. It's not giving me the great satisfaction anymore." Blah, blah, blah. And then JJ even said, listen, JJ even said, he goes, but Jim, you said all the right words. Jim, I still got faith in you, blah, blah, blah. And now here Jim's saying, I don't know, it sounds like Jim's still pretty happy with the game.
I'm excited to hear a little joy in Jim's voice.
I know. I'm just saying.
We're back for a week at least.
Yeah.
Until we go drop and roll.
Well, I'm still gonna, no matter what happens in this game, I'm still, if I think it's a good Titan, and if I look at the skills and I do a little bit of research on the DOT database, and I go, yeah, I think this will be a good one, I'm still going to get the Titan.
Oh, okay, Jim. Oh, I'm just checking. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that I'm not doing the 10 million VP a week or
I know.
Conquest.
I know,
Jim. The 1,400 battles.
I know, Jim. I'm just saying. Just like the situation where we, when I was calling the Horde Summoner, and you were like, no, it's not happening, and then it happened, and then I said then I said 4-star Runa, and then you're like, 4-star Runa is gonna be garbage, and
well, I'm gonna defend Jim here for a little bit. The game since Void, it broke everything, so it just became stagnant. And so if there is a shot at Runa having some defensive skill, I want to hit garrisons I can't beat. I really do. I want to get frustrated going back and forth with a castle battle. We just don't have it right now. So when only our variations are how many different relics do I have to spread out amongst my Void Titans, it just got pretty boring. So I'm excited. If Runa's got a shot, I'll max her out and see what we can get.
Yeah, Brain, just real quick to Watchmen, Mandalorian, Carnival Row, and maybe Man in High Castle. Man in High Castle, I highly recommend for you, Brain. Carnival Row, again, also highly recommend for you because
Carnival Row? What network is that?
That's also a Amazon original, and I'm just finishing the first season of that right now as well. So,
Salon, you gotta get your Mandalorian stream. It's incredible.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's the deal with Baby Yoda?
I can't ruin it, man. So here's what I told you would happen. There's a surprise in Star Wars, in Mandalorian, that if you don't watch it, the internet will ruin it. And that's what I was talking about.
Uh-huh.
When Baby Yoda makes the appearance and you didn't know it was coming, it is such a WTF moment that you're like, what just happened?
Okay.
And so since then, in the episodes 4 and 5.
Okay, don't start. Y'all gotta stop talking about it.
No. I'm
just saying. I mean, I see stuff online. I keep on seeing stuff online pop up, and I'm like,
episodes 1 through 3.
Is this even real?
They are crown jewels. But 4 and 5, very Disney. My kids loved it. If that gives you any insight. Episode 6 is a perfect episode. It's perfect.
All right, so
I mean,
I actually have absolutely no access whatsoever to the Mandalorian, at least at the very moment. But I'll get to it eventually.
No, Zalon, it's not an eventually. It is.
All right, so
not
apparently
Game of
Ice is
Thrones.
sharing his Disney Plus membership with me. I guess that's what's happening. Is that what's happening?
Zalon, I would. We have crossed that threshold of friendship. But my wife, if she found out I'm giving my internet passwords away to random YouTube streamers and gamers, that would be a cause for concern. So,
Right.
that being said, just spend the $6.99.
I see. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll do that when it's all over, so that I can just binge it all at once and not have to watch it in little installments.
No, the week by week conversation that would add to our DOT community, I guarantee you would enjoy. It's your new Sunday night.
Oh, what
streamer
Jim's
show.
saying? God bless us, everyone.
God bless us, everyone.
Tiny Jim.
I see a Senorita D on the old Discord
D
right now.
likes it when you call her Senorita.
Senorita,
Spicy tamale.
Mamacita.
I
There it
prefer
is.
Mama D.
There's the
Mama
unmute.
Mama D.
There's the unmute.
There's the
Tell us about Chicago.
Chicago. It was all right. It was fine.
Oh, you got it all right. Just
Yeah,
all
so
right.
that means she got in trouble.
No, I had a headache there, so I didn't really enjoy myself.
Sorry, D. How you feeling now?
I feel great.
Was the headache stress related, or do you feel it was just a health problem?
I had a migraine on Monday, and sometimes the airplane exacerbates it. So, like, when I landed, my flight was delayed like 3 hours because it snowed, and then I landed really late on Wednesday with a really bad headache. And then Thursday was like all day meetings, followed by a holiday party, followed by an after party. So that was kind of stressful. Also, I was like getting anxious because I was afraid that I was going to get a migraine, which I did. But it was fine. I mean, I got it under control.
So how can we help you as a community not stress out that much over Zalon's VP count?
Yo, my VP is insane. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't have to worry about him anymore. Well,
Wait, what? Zalon have the tides turned? Tell us.
Yeah, wait a second. You didn't know? You didn't know? The last D, explain
okay.
it.
Here's the thing. Zalon is amazing when he's amazing.
Come to my defense.
And when he's not, he's not. The problem with Zalon is consistency, right? So last week and the week before, Zalon shined. He was the amazing shining star I wanted him to be. I just need him to stay that way.
Man, you hear that
Zalon?
belief in you, Zalon? Yeah, that belief was just bleeding through the stream.
Oh,
I know he has it in him. It's just a matter of, does he want to, and can he find the time to do it? Like, what were you like in the? He was in the top page last week, and this week I didn't look recently, but weren't you in top 3 or top 5 or something?
I was numero uno for a couple days, and then I've been bumped down a little bit because listen, it's been all about fighting with Runa this entire time, so I lost my first place position. I am officially over 4 million VP for the first time in my entire career right now. Okay, I have never hit 4 million VP ever. Okay.
Very nice.
And I'm
Good
at
job.
I'm at 970.
You had to light a fire
Listen,
under your
listen,
ass, but you did it.
listen. I'm at 974 battles, which means I'm going to hit 1,000 battles, which I don't know if I've ever done that before in the game.
You know what? It's addictive, isn't it? When you're up there and you're like on the top page, and then you're like in the top 5, and then you're in the top 3. It makes you want to push more so that you could be number 1.
Well, it did in the beginning of the week when I was actually able to hit VP lands all the time, just because it didn't matter because I was using a different Titan for the other event. But because of this event, I've been having to hit all crappy super low level lands, so I just kind of, the last million VP I've gotten has been from like 600 battles. So it's kind of ridiculous.
All right, I'm going to run to the store. I'll be back. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. I need to go down there and probably get 30 million. Yeah, Extinction, you probably would get 30 million. Oh, Corey says I had 4 million VP by Tuesday. Again, I didn't say that I'm the greatest DOT player ever and that I get the biggest numbers ever, but this is a personal best for me. So
sounds like you borrowed that line from Godan's
Oh yeah,
not saying I'm the best player.
Yeah, well, of course, because the YouTubers are always held to a certain standard, as if for some reason we're supposed to magically have twice the amount of time to be able to play than all the rest of the players. It's like, wait a second, no, I'm a regular person just like you. I can only play.
I'm a regular person.
Yeah, I'm a real boy. No.
God bless us, everyone.
Right.
Nobody wants to play with the Charlie in the box.
Yeah, right? That's definitely Jim. Although I've always...
Jim, that was an unbelievable impression,
although
bro.
I always pictured Jim as the, what was it, the
abominable snowman?
No, the guy with the big red beard. What was his name?
Yukon Cornelius.
Oh, Yukon Cornelius. That's who I always pictured you, Jim, because you'd flip your little pickaxe into the air and it hits the ground. You pick it up and nothing. Nothing. You know, so it's like the same thing in DOT where Jim's like, let me pull 500 AG. Nothing.
Nothing. You know, I still haven't got my songs on.
I don't know, Jim. I think we'll pick a more what's it called? A song that fits the time. So what?
Wait, what? What is this? You owe him a song?
Yeah, only a short one though. So what should it be?
For what? What happened? Why do you owe him a song?
Jim donated in the stream.
Well,
so
it's actually what I didn't tell you, Dee?
No.
Oh, it must be none of your business then.
Whoa.
I donated on a stream, and I tried to type in "Sing Monkey Sing," but it wouldn't let me, so I had to settle for "Sing."
I was in the shower.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oops, sorry. All right, so what are you requesting? You know Ice can sing, right? Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to hear Zalon sing off key.
Off key? Yeah. Isn't it the best? But no.
It's the bestest.
What do you
You can't be telling people I'm serenading you in the night hour. Why are you exposing me on these streams?
Drum and I were talking about you today and yesterday because we were almost about to stream. And I was like, well, we need to get Ice on here because he promised that he would serenade me.
Almost about. Listen to her. We was almost about to stream.
We were.
Dangling a carrot out there for everybody again.
You name the time, I'll make it happen. As long as I don't have an event.
You'll all be surprised, and
as long as I don't have an event,
anyone.
I'm there.
It's just gonna happen.
It's a festive.
Yeah, but you know
miracle.
what? Yeah, it's gonna happen on a time that's like, I'm definitely not gonna be available. I'll probably be in a vehicle somewhere on my way to pick up my daughter or something like that, and you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna stream now. I finally wanted to stream." I'll be like, "Gosh, D, you had weeks that I wanted to stream with you multiple times." I know it. I already know.
I need the drumadiddle though. Like I need him.
You don't, but it's okay.
I know I don't, but I do. Like I feel like I do.
And after you do it, you're gonna be like, I didn't need drum at all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't
He
believe
actually
it.
said, he was like, is it really important? And I'm like, kind of. And he's like, all right, I'll stream with you. Let's just do a power hour. But then we looked at the time and I was like setting stuff up and I was like, no, this isn't going to happen. Because he worked like 80 hours this week and probably again next week. And they made him work on Sunday. So he didn't get a single day off this week. So I was like, you know what? Just take a nap.
Who does he work for again? UPS?
UPS.
Yeah.
Why does he work 80 hours a week and I can't get a damn package on time? They lost it.
Beats the hell out of me.
Well, I saw
I was
they
on
got
hold
the
with UPS yesterday for an hour and a half. And you know what the resolve was? Well, we don't know where it's at. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know where it's at?
Yeah.
Don't you track it?
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, though. But see, Drum works behind the desk, and the thing is, during
He
this,
works on the belt.
Well, I was just gonna say, doesn't he normally work behind a desk? But then during this season, he has to have like a regular.
He never works behind a desk. He
Oh.
always works on the belt.
Oh, I always thought he worked on behind a desk.
No, he's a supervisor, but it's of the preload. So it's when all the tractor trailers get unloaded, they go onto belts, and then the belts split and split and split again, and then each belt is in charge of so many trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And he supervises the preload.
Mm.
But they actually had to go in on Sunday when the union guys weren't there to organize everything because there was no way they would have been able to be okay for Monday because everything, like he was telling me the trucks are coming back.
Who orders all?
packages.
I want to know who orders all the U-Hauls and budget trucks and all that
UPS.
stuff. Okay, because it's
Yeah,
crazy
that's for the
because
overflow.
they grab so many different fleets of vehicles from all different like U-Haul and budget and like I'm sure there's a few other different companies that are out there throughout the United States that they use.
Only for the holidays.
Well, yeah. But it's crazy because they'll still even have a driver and a runner for those vehicles. So it's like, wow. Do they have so many extra people that they're using right now? He's a belter, right? Right, the brain?
Well, he supervises the belt, so he's in charge of, I think, 10 or 15 guys on a belt. And then they have to load however many trucks. I don't know, 10 trucks maybe.
Oh, Corey says I need to serenade his true love for Runa. Oh yeah, I did get her. I'm working on the 19K now. I'm just gonna work down these portal stones that I have. Yeah, he's spot on with D impersonations. Dead Nixon likes my D impersonations.
Whose? Yours?
Yeah, mine are pretty.
Oh my God.
They're pretty spot on.
No, they're not. Not even close.
Jim's are pretty good too.
You're not high pitched enough.
Mm-hmm.
Try again.
She goes, but Salon, you gotta get your VP up. Blah blah blah.
That's too high pitched. I think I sound nicer than that, but
Sometimes.
I'll let it slide.
Well, when people read what you say without knowing what your voice sounds like, okay,
Wait,
that's the one.
Can you do the D giggle?
No, I can't do the D giggle.
You want to try? No, you're not even going to try?
No, I'm not even gonna try. I can't do.
That was terrible.
I can't do the D. I can't do the D giggle.
I'm giving you hints here. No.
No.
We could barely do the D impression, let alone a D giggle.
Right.
Jump does a great D impression.
Well, I'm sure.
We'll have to get him on here.
Sometimes Drum has to sing for his supper. We know how it works.
Poor Drum.
Yeah, he left an hour ago.
Do you guys got a bunch of snow there in New York?
No, it all melted. It rained yesterday. Why do you?
Well, it's supposed to start snowing here about 10 o'clock.
Oh.
It's down to 30 degrees. It's supposed to snow from about 10 o'clock tonight to about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh, God. I hope we're not getting snow. I haven't even weather.
We're supposed to get some sleet and some slush tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful.
Well,
It's
that's
moving
for
toward you, D, because it's coming from Columbus, so it's moving east toward us, which would mean it'll be moving east to you.
Wonderful.
it's gonna be in the afternoon tomorrow for UD. So, Prepare for a really crappy
So-
commute home. Really crappy commute home.
On a side note, I didn't know what whirly ball was, but when I played whirly ball, it was so much fun.
Oh
What's
yeah.
whirly ball?
So it's like you play in this court. It's a special whirly ball court, and I would say it's a little bigger than a basketball court. And there are like 2 baskets, but they're not really baskets. They're like square targets with like a circle in the middle. And you're on bumper cars, and it's 5 and 5, so 10 max bumper cars. And you get this scooper, sort of like similar to almost like the net thing of a lacrosse stick, but it's all plastic and it like scoops the ball up. And then you can like throw it, and you have to basically throw it to each other and like catch it and reach out of the bumper car and grab it and like hit other people's like scoopers with your scooper to knock the ball out of their scooper, and then throw it at the target. And it's super fun. I probably did make it sound that fun, but it was so much fun. We did extra whirly ball.
We'd have to be there, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess probably.
Mm-hmm. But it's definitely different.
I mean, once you get, if you know the people you're playing with, like it was my coworkers, and
Yeah.
I was sober, but they were drinking. So like, as the guys got more aggressive, I was like, hell yeah, I'll bang my bumper car into them, because they were being aggressive with us, with the girls, thinking like, oh, they're not going to be aggressive. Well, we are, and we will.
She's like, I was sober, but everybody else was drinking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nobody believes that, right?
That made it more fun. I was sober because alcohol makes my headaches worse, so I purposely didn't want to drink anything just because I was afraid I was going to get another headache. But it was fun. I mean, I had a really great time. It was fine. And the laser tag was fun, too. We did laser tag. It was really good. I actually had a really good time.
Well, good, D. Jeez.
Yeah,
Glad.
I know.
Jeez.
Holy mackerel, we just dropped 22,000 souls and we're still ranked 74? What the hell?
We're
Why are you
we're
dropping
157. Well, there's people that are
So, because nobody wants this
Iron Rune.
rune, we'd rather have the 4,000 gems.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Runa.
I left the Alliance and dropped my souls, and we were 74 when I left, and we're still 74.
Yeah, because everyone else is probably doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's probably what Dragons is going to end up doing, too. What are they ranked now?
We're at 154. We've actually been in the very middle of the group. We've been like hovering in the 170 range, which 175 is actually the very middle. So it really, it at 154, I honestly don't think we're gonna have to do anything. I don't think we're dropping.
Well, how many souls does your Alliance have, Zalon?
Hold on. 291,000.
The problem is you don't know what 250 is, so you don't really know how much you have to drop.
291,000, and what's your Alliance rank?
157.
Good Lord.
So you're good, right? As long as you don't drop out of under 100.
I don't think we're gonna go under 100. I really don't.
Well, you did last time. It's okay. We already talked to your crowns and
yeah.
and
There's
officers, and they're going to be online during an hour before the event ends, just in case.
yeah. I know. I heard about it.
We prepped them.
I saw multiple posts about it. All right, so like I said, I'm going to finish out the rest of these portal stones. I got something like, 38 left? Yeah. So let's do that. And get as many souls as we can. I want that 350 DGs.
So what song are you singing for Jim?
A lullaby.
Does he get to pick his song?
No, it's going to be a lullaby. It's going to be quite short, but it's going to be about, I don't know. Truckers going to sleep. So it's, how about this? It's going to be Good Night Moon for truckers. So it goes Good night coffee. Good night coffee. Good night, cigarettes. Good night, cigarettes. Good night, lot lizards. Good night, lot lizards.
Lot lizards!
Good night,
Damn,
trailers.
if you have 291,000 souls and it's rank 154, that's a lot of souls we'd have to drop. Good lord.
Something wrong with a grown man asking another grown man to sing for him. Bromance, mate, says Groovy. Groovy's watching. It's too.
Groovy!
Groovy's watching from.
What's that, Groovy Skate?
Yep. He's watching. It's super late in the. It's like 3 in the morning over there in wonderful Great Britain. So.
I wonder if that's the same Groovy that's in Non-Toxic.
It's very possible.
If it is, he is a doll, and every time he asks me for something, he gives me a chocolate bar emoji.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He put chocolate bar emojis in here too. He said, and maybe it'll help you with your with your headaches. Yeah.
He's just trading you, D.
Maybe. Must be the same. I mean, I was like, how did you know? Must be the same Groovy. I think that's sweet and thoughtful.
Oh, yep. Groovy just did it in the chat again, just for you.
Aw, thanks.
See? And this has been another segment of D's affirmation.
Yeah, nobody does thoughtful things like that anymore. I thought that was super sweet.
See?
Oh, whatever.
Oh my god, you don't think that's super sweet? You're just jealous that you didn't think of it.
Yeah, Jim's just jealous because he didn't think about it first.
Why are you so grumpy?
Why is Jim jealous?
What's
Jim jealous
it's
about?
getting late. It's getting late for Jim. That's why.
Because I was talking about a player that is on right now on the stream on YouTube in the chat that is in Non-Toxic, and every time he asks me for something, he gives me a chocolate bar, and I think it's super sweet.
You realize it's not a real chocolate bar, right?
No, but it's the thought that counts.
Oh my!
I don't like
so
it.
emojis
But
actually count.
but listen,
as equity in
D, you have to
bank?
protect your emoji chocolate bars because Drum will still find them and eat them.
I know. That's true.
Right? Dee's gonna come back to the chat later, and she's like, "All of my chocolate bar emojis are just wrappers now, Drum. So what happened?
Yeah, for sure.
They're all
He
wrappers."
starts deleting all the emojis out of her account.
Yeah.
That's what happened when I got home from Chicago, but I knew, so I had a second stash that he didn't know where it was. And I was like, you ate all the chocolate, didn't you? And he was like, yes. Do you have more? And I'm like, yeah, you didn't find it? And he's like, no. And he's like watching me like, where's she going to get it out of?
Right.
Well, we know it's no place up high.
I used to do up high.
It's down low.
I've done down low. What?
I said it has to be down low. It's like...
I mean, I've done down low, and he found those too. So
Giant drum crawling on the ground. That's a great image.
Right.
And she could hide them in like the baseboards and stuff.
no, see, well, they'll melt in the baseboards. I usually hide them somewhere in the kitchen because I don't want to forget about them. And I think one time I put them in like in between two colanders, like in a lower cabinet, and he found them. And then another time I put them like in between like my baking pans, like on the top shelf. He found those. I put them in like a baking drawer that I had like tablespoons and all my measurings. He found that there too. Another place he found them was like I had the chocolate behind. I have these ramekins that I use for like creme brulee and different desserts. I've stuck the chocolate behind those, and he found them.
Put it next to your computer. Put it next to the computer you stream on, and maybe he'll accidentally turn it on as he's trying to get your chocolate bars.
Put them next to your feminine hygiene products. I bet he won't find them there.
You never know.
He's not going to go in the bathroom. I don't think he will go in the bathroom, but I have a big problem hiding chocolate not in the kitchen area.
Yeah,
he knows I would never
Groovy
do
says
it.
try in the washing machine or next to the vacuum cleaner.
I put it in the dishwasher once in like a Ziploc bag just in case he like tried to run it or something, and he found them in the dishwasher.
Wow.
This is
Well,
like
that's because he's
attic.
a modern kind of guy. You know, he does the dishes and stuff.
He doesn't do the dishes. He actually was supposed to do the dishes, which is why we got a dishwasher, and now he still doesn't do the dishes.
Well, you have a dishwasher. Her name is Dee.
No, before we had an actual dishwasher, I was the dishwasher, and I washed all the dishes. And he was supposed to wash them when I cooked, but he never did. And then I basically he was like, "Well, we got a house. We'll get a dishwasher, and I'll always run the dishwasher." Well, that worked for like a week, and then it stopped. So he doesn't run the dishwasher or empty the dishwasher. But I have to go easy on him because he's been working a lot. I'll be nice.
Aww.
Yeah, so Val stopped back in, D, just for you.
No. So does anybody have the iOS update, or is that just next? Everybody gonna get it?
I didn't get it yet.
I think it's next week for iOS.
I don't see it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have it either. I keep waiting on it because I can't wait for those one of each troops on my garrison.
Well, listen, I don't even have that yet. Okay, I don't even have that yet. I don't know why. I looked on my garrison earlier, and my garrison does not have one of every troop on it.
Maybe they're not going to activate it until everyone has it.
Maybe, because I don't have that. And I have the update.
Well, I've seen some people post pictures that they have one of each troop on their garrison.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, here,
What's
look.
happening?
Well, maybe it's because I haven't switched my garrison since the
Hello?
update. Wait, what's
Is
happening?
everything okay?
Get off Discord. I think she just got a phone call. Sounded like she was definitely not talking to us.
It must have been drama.
Yeah, Mr. Drama Diddle. The drama. All right.
Drama diddle here.
Right. All right, so we got 775 left on the souls, but I'm going to spend the rest of these 20 portal stones here on the stream and then relax.
So what rank are you? Where are you at? Do you have Runa already?
Yeah, no, I'm at 18,200. Yeah, I got Runa.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Are you going to finish?
No. No, I'm just going to get the 350 divine gems. I can care less about the split arrow and the pauldrons. So
Yeah, they're really terrible relics, to be honest.
you know, because they're Titan skills at the very end, and then there's just 2 Omega skills on top. I'm alright with 1 Omega skill, and it still has to be like typically an offensive one for the most part.
Right.
And then other than that, the other 2 skills, I want them to be something I want. But with 2 Omega skills and then Titan skill after it, I don't like either one of those. But I wanted the Staff of Iron. I was happy the Staff of Iron was on the other side of Runa, so that I didn't have to worry about it. I knew I was going to get it with everything else. And then I was thinking about getting the 350 divine gems just because it's right on the other side of Runa. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
There you go. Smart thinking.
So, like I said, though, we're going to play out looks like 7 more battles, unless I get a few more portal stones, but in the meantime, but...
I must say, my relic pools were surprising. I mean, I bought a couple of those had start packs, but then I got a bunch of gems, so I started pulling some gems. I pulled a ton of 3-star gem or relics.
All right, let's try this. I'm going to change up my defender. My current land defenders is 2 Grenadiers, 3 Imperials, and 3 Panthers. Okay? So I'm going to change my defender and see what happens. Because I can really care less if I lose those troop setups that's on there. So I'm just going to switch it over to whatever.
But it shouldn't matter what Titan you have on there.
No. Just the simple fact that the defense is being changed. I haven't changed my defense on my garrison since before the update. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
Okay, gotcha.
So, I changed my garrison defender. Are they going to change the troops that are on there? No. What if I change my troops that are on there?
Yeah, I've seen it change. I don't know why yours isn't.
No. Weird. I'm changing out different Titans and everything, and I still have the same defenders on there. Is everything okay, D? Is Drum okay at work?
He wanted to make sure that I was going to sleep.
So wait, he knows you're on the stream right now?
Apparently, he does.
I see.
Drum knows all.
So he's probably, well, it's because he probably gets the notifications and he knows that I'm live, and he's probably like, uh-oh, I better check in. If you're in the chat right now, just put a thumbs up in the chat, just so we know you're there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's in the chat, but he usually never calls me from work, which is why I was like, what is going on? And then, of course, he's like, I have to go.
Don't say anything about me. Yeah, quit talking. Did he say, quit talking about me on stream?
No. It is 10 o'clock.
Have you got Runa yet?
No, I'm not going for her.
What?
Well, no, wait, D, you're gonna get her because non-toxic and NTG Hammer are both.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna get her the relics.
Well, you don't need her relics. Really?
Well, there's some ones that are kind of good. We were talking about it, and he's like, don't you want those relics? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, they'd be really good for Dion or another Titan, even if not for Runa. And I'm like, yeah, but who uses Dion and other Titans? I'm only using like 1 or 2 Titans for all my attacks, and I'm doing great. And he's like, that's true. So I don't know. We talked about it, and he was like, that's fine. You don't. I have to ask permission to like not finish events. Whose account is this? We have to like talk about events. Oh, how far were you thinking about going for this event? And are you going to do this event? And what's going on with that event? And I'm like, do you want the account back? No, I want someone to play it. Well, then let me do it.
It needs a good workout, D. It needs a good workout.
He's like, don't let
what
it go.
council level were you?
I'm 24.
What?
I'm 24.
Okay.
But I heard that change was happening to castles 24 and 25. Not just 25.
Tox actually sent me some of the stuff about his Runa.
Oh, yeah?
But I have to see it to believe it.
So, what do you mean you got to see it to believe it? I could tell you, Talks back says that he got like 24 greens in a row. The one thing that beat him was Chrono.
I would want to hit it myself, and like I'd have to see it to believe it. I don't know who's hitting him. I don't know who the players are. Well,
yeah. Jim brought that up too. He did say we don't know the level and capability of the player.
Like if you told me that 5 players from such and such team, a team that I respected, hit him and couldn't get through, I'd be like, wow, that's impressive. But like even if you told me the players' names, I wouldn't recognize them because I'm not really familiar with Masters League.
I did a caveat. I mean, they're all max players, and they was all players from the number 1 team in the league, which is Masters League right now.
What's
but
the
you got to look at the skill, huh?
What is the number 1 team?
I forget. I could go in and look real quick.
Is it like a team that commonly does?
I forget. Hold on.
Yeah, D. Hold on.
Second.
Hold on. Don't you hear it in Jim's voice? He is very stern. Hold on.
So cranky today.
Mm-hmm.
I am not. It's some Russian team starting with an X.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know them.
I don't know who they are.
Yep, Val says, be nice, Jim. Be
Be nice,
nice.
Jim.
You better be on your best behavior, or Val says you're getting nothing for Christmas. I added that. I added that, but it's true.
I can say right now, but I'm not.
But you're not going to because you're going to be a good boy. Because
I'm going to be a good boy, and I'm not going to say it.
You're not going to say it because if you do, I'm going to stick up for Val.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Just warning you.
Whatever.
Whatever.
So even if she's not here, she's still protected. Love you, Val. You're welcome.
you knew you know how long I've known you before, Val? Come on. Where's the protection for Jim? We're sticking up for Jim.
I'll protect you against
Jim doesn't get the
anyone
D
else,
bubble.
Jim.
It's just like in game. It's like bubbling your garrison. You don't get protected
Jim
by
can
D.
be in, no, Jim can be in the D bubble, but he can't. If it'd have to be another guy. He can't. Like
D would only
cares,
cast shield spell on Jim every once in a while. It's only in a every once in a while situation. It's not a garrison bubble like when D has to protect Val.
It's more like, chicks stick together type thing because there's too many of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You have to protect each other.
Look, I'm very sweet to you and her, so.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Most of
You
the
are, you are.
time.
Are we not sweet to you, Jim?
Yes, very sweet.
Big Daddy Jim?
Big Daddy.
That's it, yep. That's my girl.
now he's appeased.
Speaking of Big Daddy, I just had Black Gold message me in line yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I asked her how she was doing and blah, blah, and she just said she's super busy with real life stuff outside of DOT.
Nice. Yeah, I think she's resting right now in night.
So, D, did you say who you got in your tokens on both your accounts?
I don't think I did because they were people that I didn't even know.
You mean Titans that you don't even know?
Yeah.
So, what were they?
Oh, gosh. I pulled 3. I pulled 4. I think I pulled... We couldn't figure out which one I pulled on Drum's account because I lost service, through the pull, and my game just closed.
Jesus! That's scary!
Yeah, and then I opened it. I know, and then I opened it, and my token was gone. And I was like, oh, he's going to kill me. Oh, my God, he's going to kill me. And then I'm like, what Titan did I get? And I went and I looked through all the Titans to try to figure out who I got. And I was like, it's either Storm Tor or Sagunga. And then I was like, or I didn't get a Titan, and they screwed up. But I opened a health ticket, and I was like, I don't believe that I got a Titan. I really don't think I got one. And it's been 3 days, and they still haven't gotten back to me.
So you're asking for them to verify your Titan. Oh, Jim, relax.
So I don't know. And then Drum was looking, and he was like, what Titan did you get? And I was like, don't be mad, but the game force closed on me. I'm not sure. He's like, well, who do you think? And I'm like, I think it was Sagunga. And then he was looking, and he was like, well, I think the Storm Tor is new, and the Sagunga is new. He's like, I think. So he wasn't mad, but, and then I got an who the heck did I get in my other one? Some weird one that I'd never heard of in my entire life.
Oh, probably before your time, like Ayaka?
Ayaka? Is that what it was?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Oh.
Nothing good. Why? Did you get anything good?
No, I got Venom Tusk.
It was... Okay. It was disappointing.
I got Urcon.
That's not bad.
Well,
Better than Sagunga.
Yeah, okay, so did anybody see anyone at all get Huntress or Oni?
No.
no.
I don't even think they were. I don't think they were really.
Reaver on her mini.
Well, that's pretty good.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think
okay.
it was Bastard or Reaver, one of the other.
And Farana got Osiris, so I mean, yeah, the Horde Titans were in. But yeah, and Horde Titans were in there, so that's great. But I really wanted to see somebody get an Oni or a Huntress. or like a Chernobog, you know, because that's what I wanted. I wanted one of those
they're
three.
They're not giving Chernobog out.
They said that every Titan was in there, and that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah. Okay. I got some beachfront land to sell you in Arizona too.
Do you? I'm interested.
Cheap.
I'm interested.
Cheap.
Is it near Val?
There's no beaches in Arizona, first off, is there? Whenever I go there, it's just all desert.
Oh my God! Am I gonna have to sit here and explain this to her?
No.
I know what you're talking about. I'm just because there isn't any.
Dig! Give that girl the silver ticket.
Whoopsie.
Oh, Ian got the poison pig on his main and got the storm bull on his mini. I think not, as the picture was not any of the Divine Titans in there. Well, they said every Titan. And they even said on the live stream about Huntress and Oni, and they said, oh, it should be every Titan. So, I don't know.
She said, wait, I've been to Arizona. I've never seen any beachfront property. Oh.
Oh my.
Yeah, Groovy said the same thing right there. Ulrich for you, and my brother got Volstan. Someone asked on Livestream if Huntress and Oni are included, and they confirmed that, yeah. It's just, I didn't see anyone get one, and I was hoping if I didn't get one that somebody else at least would confirm that they were in there.
Doc's got flame hide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he was real happy about that one.
I'm sure. Alright. So I did get a few more portal stones just because I wanted to keep doing the battles at this one place. But we are wrapping the stream up, though. We are wrapping the stream up because I don't want it to go too long.
Sorry.
You're okay. Alright, we'll do one more. One more.
What's going on for the holidays? Are you gonna stream?
Probably on that Tuesday before I end up leaving for the holiday, you know, for Christmas.
Where are you going?
Probably, well, up to my parents the day before Christmas, and then I'll pick up.
Christmas is on a Tuesday or Wednesday?
Christmas is on a Wednesday. So
you're going to stream Christmas Eve?
Day, probably.
Christmas Day is on a Wednesday?
I'm pretty certain, yeah.
So Christmas Eve is on a Tuesday.
Yeah, which means I'll probably stream on the day on Tuesday before I leave.
Laughing.
We all need to figure that out so quickly. Christmas Day is on a Wednesday, so that means Christmas Eve is on a Tuesday.
Well, he said Christmas is on Wednesday. For me, Christmas, if he said Christmas is on Wednesday, I would assume Christmas Eve was on Wednesday and Christmas Day was on Thursday. That's how I would have perceived it, but that's not what he meant. So there.
What?
Nothing. Forget it. I have to brush my teeth.
Yeah, all right, but make sure you brush good, like I tell my daughter.
I'm not using my electronic toothbrush because the last time I did that, we're like, "What are you doing?" So I don't.
Oh, jeez, yeah. No, what are you doing? Brushing your teeth.
Mm-hmm. I'm brushing my teeth, and it's like 2
Come on, use the electronic one. We want to hear it.
No.
All right, I got 610 more souls to get offline here as soon as we wrap up. And then I'll have those DGs, and we'll be good to go. Anything else you guys want to say? Let's see. What do we got going on? Let's see. Tomorrow we're gonna get the all the Christmas, the first round of Christmas quests, and then also, and like I said, I believe they're gonna be very similar to the ones the quests that we got for the Halloween event. So probably more captures and more garrison raids and more battles and all that kind of stuff. And then also too, They may also give us the. We're also going to get the second round, at least for the players that have the 1.3.6 update. We'll get the second round of campaign, so it'll be the same campaign maps most likely, but with different. Instead of Ragnar, it's going to be like either Alethan or Unak or Panthers. So that's going to start tomorrow as well. And then what else? Oh, and then Tuesday and Wednesday is a complete waste of time. It's going to be a Altars of Plenty, which is, again, a complete waste of 2 days in the game. We don't really have anything going on. And then we have the last dev live stream on Wednesday, so get ready for that. Of the year, I should say. And they're going to give us all the information for the next, 3 or 4 weeks, which is insane, but they will. They're going to drop a lot of info and give away a whole bunch of stuff. So be prepared for that. And, of course, the Ice Tar is dropping later this week. So be prepared for that. I have no idea if the Ice Tar is going to be another poop dud like a lot of the other Tars have been, or is it going to be actually something that everybody's going to want, being the fact that Poseidon, some people like Poseidon, some people are waiting for another Ice Summoner, so maybe this Ice Tar is going to be worth it. We'll see what happens. So, all right, D and Jim, thank you for joining, and DOT community and everybody.
Always a pleasure.
Everybody in the chat. We will talk to you all again very soon.